We're going. This is our crew. Officially, good afternoon. Welcome to Market Watch Group Weekly Market Wrap. I'm Scott. I'll be your host. I've had a few new names. I've seen some new signups, new people pop in. I always am just like, I hope that they come in and they think, you know what? This is the place where I'm going to figure it out. It's low pressure. Very supportive, a lot of resources. There's live resources, recorded resources, physical documents that you can link. I mean, it's just, if you need it, there's a good taste of it at least. And we give we have a good, strong watch list that we curate together every week. I feel like we have a good time. We give each other a hard time. It's, in my opinion, pretty perfect or close to it. We're always going to keep working. Anyways, mostly because of you guys. I just come for the snacks. Okay, weekly market wrap. Disclaimers, as always. Education, illustrative purposes only, of course. Decisions are made at your own risk. We're not brokers nor advisors, blah, 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 yada, yada. There's the slide. Let's talk about today's market. Strong, but how strong? Let's revisit our market posture. What are we going to think? Without even looking at it. I need you guys to be dialed in with me here. Without even looking at it yet. Strengthen, weaken, or stable. One of three choices. I want everyone to tell me my vote. I'm going to tell you after I get two. I'll give you mine. First two, I'll tell you mine. I know what I'm going to say. Strengthen, stable, weaken. Just based on how this week went, what do you think our posture is going to do? It's so quiet out there. Bam. Sandy said weaken. Okay. Kevin said stable. I say stable. That's two. I said I think we're gonna hold up. Hold up. If anything, I would go more with Sandy and say if it does anything, it's going to weaken more than it's going to be like, oh, look at this. We didn't even realize it gained some strength here. We're like, what? Where are you looking? Anyway, should be fun to look. Okay. That's what we're going to do. Revisit the posture. Look at the trades. Google look great. Of course I'm going to carry it. Might take some. Fridays always have you a little bit prone to thinking about that. Ray agrees on the stable crew. I would have been surprised if someone was like, I think it's going to get better. I'd be like, maybe they had some real good trades. I mean, right? I don't know. What are we looking for next week? Let's go through the list. Let's talk about wrapping up the routines section. We're about to move into record keeping and analytics, which is a great section. Because if we're doing this right, we've standardized our process. And as we've standardized our process, we now have trades coming out to produce data. That data is giving us a story, a very different story. There's the story we are seeing in the market and trying to get to as we talk about this, the story we see on the charts. There's the story we have in our mind. But at the end of the day, the most important story is what does your data tell you that you are executing? What we think we're doing, very different things. And so this is where the rubber meets the road and we get to see. I think I'm getting 2-1. Then we get to see our average wins and average losses. Are the winners more than double the losses? If so, yes. You're doing it. And if not, you get to be like, well, I thought I was getting 2-1s, but I'm actually getting 1.3. That's not like discouraging, like, oh, I'm only getting 1.3. That's okay. I'm getting 1.3. Where's the breakdown? Something needs to happen. Losers get smaller, winners get bigger. Can't do both. I'm not going to try to do both simultaneously. I'm going to say, okay, I need to squeeze more from my winners. Maybe I'm cutting my winners short. I'm getting out too much too soon, right? And this is where you get to reflect and see, like, what are my mistakes that I'm doing contributing to a 1.3 when it should be 2-1. Can't do it without the data. And the additional data that you're likely going to reference is going to be comparing it to market posture. It's so easy to look back and be like, oh, look, the market was bullish. Well, you got to make sure that you saw it bullishly. There's been plenty of times where the biggest thing someone did was they just got the market wrong. And once you get the market wrong, it's going to be a bad time. So when we look back, we can't just assume anything. We need to be able to look back and see what the conditions were, see what we thought the conditions were and how we were likely to trade it. Look at the trades we made. Now we can find patterns for improvement that we can put into our rules. Standardizing, measuring, improving, like a business. Yeah. Soapbox over. Let's go. Mindset for trades carried over the weekend. We'll look at next week. We already did all this. I'm so distracted. Sorry, guys. Let's go. AAP. It's questionable here. Let's change perspective. Questionable, but not broken. Can I come in here and say, you know what? I can move my stop. I can control the risk and see if this thing might go again, because that definitely happens. Right? We don't have any instances of it here, but we also don't have any instance of it failing. This is definitely a pause. We have a couple of days. This is a judgment call, right? You might look at the market and be like, you might think I'm going to stay in, but I'm going to hold one contract. Let's see what happens. I'm going to, take a small loss or break. Where are we? Break even on this thing? I have to go look. Who's in this? What are you thinking about it? Let's go back to the candles. All right. The chart was sitting there waiting for me, and that's AAP is the first stock on the list. But let's just kind of go into this. Markets are up 0.79, 0.52, 1% for the NASDAQ, only 0.3 for the Russell. VIX is down. Now, we talked about the VIX. We're going to keep talking about it. This is going to be potentially important for us to see where are we from a more stable perspective. Okay, I'm going to jump to the calendar. I don't know why things all of a sudden are running slow. So, this week, jobless claims 226 to 221. Fine. Productivity up a little. It was pretty okay. Nothing really bad, nothing really good. Obviously the revision was not great. What are we thinking next week? CPI. It's all about inflationary numbers right now. So what the Fed needs, now you've got a couple of big banks that are like, ooh, they may not do it the rest of this year. And I was thinking, you know what? I should be open to that too. I can't just be honest. Were you influenced? Were you biased? Be like, yeah, they're definitely gonna do it now. Were we thinking maybe that's going to be important, but CPI has got a big story to tell. We're up, if anywhere, near 3. We need it to be near 2 as far as what the Fed is looking for, or at least moving that way. So we haven't seen what they are forecasting for this. Maybe I should see if this has got an update that I didn't get yet. No, it does not. And after CPI, we have PPI. And then we have a decent amount on Friday with retail sales, manufacturing, production, utilization, initial consumer sentiment. So there's a decent amount of data coming out. Okay, let's see how the market's reacted to it. Back to the SPY. Let's talk about the market itself. Bullish day. Again, just this small group of us. AP still has room to climb. I agree. I see, right? And the Heiken Ashi has not turned red. So it's like, yeah. Is there a possibility that you say, you know what, I might take 1 or 2 off just because it's Friday, because you might keep the whole position? Is there a reason to stay in the trade? Yeah, it's got a bullish look still. I agree with you. SPY looks bullish, but is it bullish? And we think, yeah, now we're right up against some old resistance. Here we go. In a word, tell me your concern on this chart in one word. This is a fun one for today. And that word is literally on the chart here. It's on here somewhere. How about that for a hint? One word. What is your concern? Or what is my concern? Maybe it's not your concern. What do you think my concern is? As obviously I'm the one posing the question. What is my concern in one word on this chart? And the word is put on here. Okay. I don't know what that means, but I'll do it. What are we doing? AI companion? I'm going to say remind me just to make sure. Okay, AI companion is on. For what that's worth. Interesting. Okay. Bam, John Welsh. Magnificent. Magnificent. Volume. It's over here. There's the word volume. Here's the volume. Now we are approaching resistance. Resistance is the ceiling. The ceiling. And a ceiling at resistance, what do we need if we think it's going to break? We need volume. We need conviction. So as you look at this and you think, here we are, getting closer to this where, boy, we sure retreated quickly, then gapped down. Now, we definitely made a quick little V reversal to get here. But do we have an expectation that this is just going to keep going? What can help us to think that? And we look down here at this volume and we're thinking, whoa, that's... Now, we've got a lot of time still, 40 minutes. Average is 71. We're at 44. We could probably get to 60. I mean, we could probably see another 30% volume. I bet 55 to 60. That's what I would say today's volume. It's 55 to 60. Average is 70. So we're not even close. We're not at average. For us to consider volume significant, it has to be 105%. 105. We just need 5% more than average, and it gets one of these, right? Even this one right here, 5% more. Now, this wasn't significant because it was a doji. It was a tie. Nobody gets it. It's a tie. Same here. It started up here, finished down here. Actually, I'm looking at that thinking maybe that should have been. I think maybe it wasn't more than a 0.5% drop. And that was what left it there. But I'm like, I don't know. Maybe need to go back and look at that. We do adjustments here. We go back and look and we're like, I don't know. But that's my concern, is that if the market is losing steam as we hit this, and that's what I'm going to be looking around at, like thinking, okay, where else? So let's just go, market posture wise. Let's go market posture wise. What did we say here? We said, look, nothing's really, if this could drop to here and we would keep our score the way it is, it has to get all the way up to here for us to raise our score. I'm at a 1.25. This green and blue over here, these are 1.5 steep. We had that for a good little while back here. Nice looking market back here. But not now, right? Like So we've gotten back into what we believe is this, but not back to that. So 1.25 is pretty much, nothing's going to change that for me for a while. It's got to get there. It can get down to here, and all of that still 1.25. Let me know if you agree, disagree. Let's go to 6 months. We've been working off of a different trend score. We'll have to look at this one. Let me draw some straight lines. Okay, if I take this, you can kind of see that we've been working off of this as our trend right here. right? We're like, okay, it's pretty good, pretty good. And what happened? Well, we broke that trend. We come down. Posture. Gosh, I don't know. I almost feel like, it was the first time saying, no, I'm good, but we are probably going to lower the score. I'm starting to actually lean more towards Sandy's thought process because of this. I think we're going to take a quarter point away. This was a 1.5 and we broke below it. We could still be going up. I'm not going negative. I'm saying maybe it's only a 1.25 or a 1. If it's slowing down, if the angle is slowing down where we're like, ooh, okay. Thoughts on that? Anyone? Sandy, is that where you think it maybe is going to lose a little ground short term? Could lose a quarter point. Volume, I think, is let me see. Nothing else new. Same score. It's going to stay the same. You can see the angle still moving up, sideways to up, and so our score is a 0 there. I'm fine with that. I don't think that's going to drop. That's where I think, stable. Major market, sector rotation, always hard. Technology had a nice surge. It's going to be leading. I think that's going to stay where it is. I think that's at a 0.5 point. Major market. Sector rotation. Ooh, actually, that could go up a quarter of a point with the moves that technology is pushing in. Although we had 2 sectors. No, maybe not. Maybe if nothing else came with it, maybe that stays the same. Major market, I think, would likely to stay the same. So it's going to go to the VIX. Let's see what the VIX did. Let's get a sense of the VIX, and that might help us understand better management strategies. Okay. So like we said yesterday, we don't predict. We thought about it. And at one point we were like, ooh, that's looking, but it didn't. It finished down here. Finished down here. This is the previous low, 14.7. 14.9 even if we go to the bodies. And we're at 15.4. So we're half a point above that. I mean, this is good, but even still, if, let's just say it finishes like this, is a nice day down here. If on Monday it does this, what does that mean? That means it's up a little bit. Now, is that going to trigger a higher? Not yet. It would maybe go like this sideways. What I'm looking for is, do we take this out right here? And whatever that might do above that. Okay. That number's around 1650. That's a good level that this last candle, which is setting up today, gives us for if it's a reversal. And remember that then this low relative to this higher low. And we already have some hint of escalation in place. So where do we think this could go from here? And we kind of already said mid-20s. If something crazy happen, even 28. If you have bullish things on, we want to hedge them. If we start to see this developing, and there's a good chance you will have bullish things on. And you might think, hey, this is enough of a signal that I would be okay if my hedge transitioned into a speculative trade. So that would help you to understand what position size. Are you looking at this just to get a little protection and you just want to put on a contract or two? And you think, you know what, I'm going to put on a few. It hedges. I'm going to manage my other stuff. And if this thing turns, I'm going to manage this because I already have a 1 point drop. We're not thinking we're calling out the top. We already have a 1 point drop in our market posture. We have this setting up here. We already scored this last week. this hasn't developed yet, so I think it's actually going to stay the same. So I think we're likely going to see, if anything, a quarter point drop. I'd say that's pretty stable. But if anything, oriented to the downside. Give me your thoughts, because this is going to, I think, be important as we look at Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in trading. Hedge rule, 5% out of the money. So we would go over here. That's a great question. 5 weeks out in time. You give yourself enough time for a move or two to happen. And you might add, but if you bought something else, you would do, 2 weeks later, you would still be in this and then do another one that's 5 weeks out from that time. I've absolutely done that before. Let's go to the SPY. Okay. So yeah, you can kind of see we're pushing up here. We can just take this 640 right here. I mean, right now we're at 637.27. It doesn't have to be like it is only. Yeah, I take basically the last high. So let's get a calculator up here. We'll use 640 as a round number. Times 0.95, 608. I can go specifically to 608. I could look at the 610s. I tend to like round numbers. So in this situation, I'll probably be around 605 to 610. When I get 608, that's kind of giving me my target of where is 5%, which means I like the 605 and the 610 strikes, which is down here. Right? Now, that's about 5%. I always like to know where 10% is, because that would be a correction. Okay, so 10% of 640, 64, 606. That's 10% right there. Is that right? No. 640, 60. No, I'm sorry. I've got to go 20 under. 24, 574. Gosh, that was horrible math. I was like, that's way too close. 574 down here. 574. 576. Maybe it's 576. There it is. Right in that area. You get the gist. Oh, mental math on a Friday. What am I doing to myself? What am I doing? But we're thinking what would happen is it would likely pull back, one, move up a little bit, and then two, I would take some off of the first position here, hopefully, add a whole new position here and carry both of these for the next move down. If we get something like this, right, where we have these double dips, that's the ideal of the hedge. Now, are we always going to execute it that way? No, but we'll do our best. And there's definitely that still developing. Let's go to the watch list. Questions? Anyone? Everybody's taking a long weekend or something today. Okay. We already looked at AAP. It's doing all right. It's up 0.5% from yesterday. Heiken Ashi, it's in a stall. We have a few days before we get to earnings. I think it could still, if it caught a little bit, get to this old high. If it gets a little piece, I'll tighten my stop for Monday. I might take a little piece off. Let's keep going. Put strike 605 or 610s. Yeah. That would be the strike I'd be looking at buying. Apple still, look at that. That's very helpful. That's very helpful that this is moving in this regard, because it's a huge component of the NASDAQ, obviously. To 240 before bouncing back. A little bit of pullback, yeah. Yeah, it's got some momentum. And if you look down here, this has room. It's got volume. It's moving higher. You've got this range up here that it's been there. It's comfortable getting there. If you're in it, you might be thinking, let's see if this thing can get to 250. So Amazon. So gap down, got a piece back. It's looking a little like it's heavy. That's concerning for consumer discretionary in the same way that Apple is beneficial for technology. This is a big piece of it. So yeah, that doesn't look great. APH still strong. Not a lot of consolidations for entry points, right? Just because you see a river doesn't mean you can just jump in, right? There's points of entry that we want to think, there it is. That's where I go to. I don't just run and jump off into the madness. AXP. Credit stuff is still in these downward consolidations. Until I get one of these, I'm just going to be watching and waiting to see what happens with those. If things start to get more bearish, maybe you start to think about a downside trade. Okay, raise your hand if you've been like, do I want to maybe trade a put or two? Be honest if that's crossed your mind yet. BAC, good day today. Old resistance, touched it here, holding it here. It's not a great entry for me. It's like it's struggling kind of a lot. Let's see. BYON. It's pulled back. Testing. If you took this, I don't know, you'd probably still be thinking, let's give it one more and see if this thing's going to turn. And if I'm thinking about it, I still think there's a potential setup developing here. So, yeah, that's an interesting one. Citi. Whoops. I think my phone thought I said Siri. Citigroup. Yeah. If you were really looking for confirmation, you're probably waiting for it to take this out. This looks all right. Yeah, it's a good one. Probably one of the better looking financials. I'm thinking about it. Caterpillar down, but setting up. I think if this line holds, if we get a support level somewhere in here and it turns, I think there's an opportunity for us in Caterpillar. CCJ didn't have great options. It's not really seen a lot of follow through. CLS. Yeah, I mean, it's what did we look at the options on this one, or were we waiting on this one? This one actually is kind of viable right now. What did we think about the options on this? Anyone? I'm going to look at these. We'll talk about them on Sunday. That's interesting. I think this could have some momentum. COF is down just like AXP, Capital One Financial Credit. Coinbase still struggling. Cisco. I mean, just caught a little. Sometimes you just. What are you going to do? You can't sit and wait. Did anyone hold long enough to catch this? It would be a hard hold. It never broke this support level. I wouldn't be like, that'd be a tough hold. If you did and you're catching up. Amazing. Interesting how long it took for that thing to find its way. You can see it's like a pre-earnings thing. That's why I like to sometimes try to catch something like that. You never know. It's not like, oh, there's going to be this, because you can't see it. You just got to see if you can catch them. DoorDash pulling back after earnings, possibly moving to a setup position. The Dow kind of sideways. Oh, EA coming out of earnings strong. That's one for us where it's like, thought we had a piece, didn't come out. Yeah. Okay. Expedia earnings were good, gapped up, sold off most of it. We'll have to kind of see what this one does. Ford, no. Futu, still moving. Anyone end up in this trade? Let me know if you are. GE, kind of trying to pull out of this. GE Vernova, still in its consolidation. I don't know. Those are both worth consideration. Neither one has like this standout entry signal, but they look very bullish. Gold still kind of holding on. Here's Google. Looks good. I'm trying to remember. Yeah, we got close. 205. I was thinking we did get close. I didn't remember how close it was. So here's our first targets up here a little bit. I mean, it got pretty close. If you thought, I'm going to take a piece off, it's Friday. Had good volume today. You can see the volume picked up. Yeah, I'm holding this. Looks good. Looks good to keep moving on up that trail. That pathway. Good stuff. In? Tell me if you're in this or not. Okay, Goldman Sachs sideways. John's in. Love it. Keeping it all to next week on that. Hasbro pushing up against resistance. Good stuff. Hood caught a little piece coming out of earnings. You can see here it pulled back. It was a volatile entry. Little hiccup and then boom. It's a bullish stock. Howmet. This one is right there. This is one if we see it on Monday, signal. There could be, you can see the stochastics starting to come out. We need the price to confirm it. IBM still just a struggle. The struggle is real for IBM. IVZ, nothing for us. That might get thrown off soon. IWM. You can see it's starting to turn a little sideways at this lower high. What are the current odds? Priced in. Probabilities. Ooh, 90%. 90%. And then for a second, $57.38. Okay, interesting. Fed watch. I think the market tends to overreact. That would be the market would definitely struggle with that the next time we come around. But if we don't have the right inflation numbers, I could see the Fed really holding tight. What do you guys think? Joby. Pulling back. The volume is starting to slow down. We're right around this old support level. It's already given back everything pre-earnings and then to here. So maybe we'll keep an eye on it. KKR still holding support, waiting to see if it's going to bounce out of it. That's got a nice trend. Levi starting to look like it's rolling over in this downward consolidation. Love is just no good. I always like to have at least one airline. I don't think any of the airlines are good right now. Anybody tracking? Let's see the list. American, Delta, a little better. United's about the same. I mean, these are better. Maybe these are better representations. Alaska, no. Yeah. Delta's better, you think? Let's decide if we think Delta or United. Here's Delta, gapped up, pulled back a little. Here's United. Maybe held a little bit better on the 50. I'm open. Either one. We'll go with Delta. I'm going to kick Love off the list. They're one of the worst. We don't want to watch one of the worst. Okay. Off. Meta. Good bump up. Pushing resistance. Looks like it's going to have a consolidation. I'd trade the consolidation. Morgan Stanley. Sideways. Trying to move up a little bit. Struggling. Microsoft. I'd say Microsoft's a nice maybe, and it's good to see Microsoft. I mean, it's strong on the earnings. It's pulled back, but strong on earnings, and the overall trend's been strong. That's helpful to the NASDAQ. Microsoft's a big piece, just like Apple. Micron popped. Netflix starting to make a move again. NVIDIA still looks pretty good. Pagaya. I don't know. I don't think we're going to watch this one much longer. It's kind of a weird one to watch trade. Unlikely to trade it. PLTR still strong coming out of earnings. Looking for the next one on this for sure. QQQ. Good day. Not much volume. Now we're 17 minutes away from close. Average is 44. Right now we're at 28. So we may only get to like 75% volume right as we're getting to the old highs. We don't need a lot of volume, but we need at least average, especially coming out of the weakness that we just showed with this last sell-off over here. There's something bubbling is what this tells us, and we want to be aware of that. So, okay. QS. Yeah, not a good sign. Dark cloud cover. Started good all the way back down here. It's not wrong. I don't know that we'll be watching that one much longer either. Roblox looked like it was going to shoot out of this again. Right? We do still love PLTR. It's one of our best. Most favorites. It hasn't rocketed. I still think there's opportunity here. I don't know if it's going to settle down one more time and then turn. Whenever we get the next one, we know it's been at 150. That's a great target for us to have, potentially. Reddit. Bam. It moved. Rocket Lab. The earnings came. They had a good start. Rallied. Sold. I don't know. That might not last much longer either. RTX maybe setting up for something for early next week. Silver. SoFi. A lot of chop out of it. It's hard when we have these earnings and it's just like, I'm just like, what are we doing with this? Okay, SPY, 15 minutes left. Now we're starting to pull back from the highs a little bit. And average volume 72. We're at 50. So like I said, 55 to 60. I think I'm in the right spot. A little better than NASDAQ, but yeah. If we go look at the intraday, little bit of selling pressure picking up into the close. People kind of tightening up positions. Friday, we all know what the situation is and what the thought process is. SPY. Yeah, just talked about that. Okay, let's talk about TME. So it tried to move, it's hitting resistance, same thing. Earnings are coming out on Tuesday, so you have until Monday if you were thinking about this. Tesla is tested sideways, kind of moving. TSM sideways. I mean, right? We love the chip stocks, but we do have to say, hey, if I draw lines, this is what my lines look like. I do see this, but I also see that at the tail end of it, and I see 1, 2, 3 touches in there. That's difficult to get through, especially with low volume. Uber, big pickup. Oh, engulfing. Here's the deal. I would be oversold too. I agree. I'd be careful here. Right? Yes, for the short term, this is happening, but anything that forms out of here, that's going to be still a bullish signal. This is all part of what a reversal process would likely look like. UUP, dollars looking more bullish. Here's that reversal process we talked about. Boom, boom. There's the first one. Nice move up out of it. Now what? Now we're looking for a second one. And we would look for something like that. Visa. Just like other credit, not looking great. Here's the VIX. The VIX is, I know it's not tradable. Okay, the VIX is down. Still not all the way down to prior lows. That's our watermark, right? It has to get to the watermarks that then make it have an increased amount of significance for us. So yeah, I mean it looks pretty good right now. It looks like it could continue next week. It also is still set up in a position that would construe a higher low. That's my assessment for it. Questions. Score is going to stay the same though. VRT. VRT looks pretty good. VRT still bullish. Stochastics pinching. Just looking for a little price confirmation at this point. Walmart broke out. I would definitely be thinking about Walmart for some trading. On the next pullback, right? It's got to have the pullback. Win. I don't know. Win's starting to look like it's going to get kicked off the list. They missed earnings. Gap down. It's not looking as good. That's the watch list. What are your thoughts? Are you any trades that you're not sure what you're going to do with? Are the decisions made? How are you feeling about what you're carrying into next week? Whoops, let me move this so I can see the chat. Well, I know we had a small group today, but hopefully you're at least feeling pretty comfortable with what you're in. Did anyone take new trades today? That's something to ask too. Anyone no trades at all? No new trades. Okay. No trades. All right. Well, let's talk about trading plans. Let's talk about trading plans. Paper trades. Okay. Great. Love it. Love paper trades. Where is my trading plan? We are finishing up with section 5. About to buy some. Oh, yeah. Thinking about it. I love it. Keep me posted. Keep me posted on that. All these should be done to be. Now, you may not have all 3 of these, but whatever your daily is, if you can do before market, after market, during market, after market, before market, during market, whatever your day allows for you to consistently do, build it with a time of day. It doesn't have to be like so precise, but give it you would like to have some consistency. You would like to have how long the set of routines is going to last. You want to have the list of routines themselves in a prioritized order. What do you do first, second, third? And then as you do it, you're habituating, right? You're getting the muscle memory, so to speak. That's your daily. So if you have a pre-market, 15 minutes. And that's the thing. These don't have to be like hour-long routines. 15 minutes. During market, 20, 25 minutes. After market, half hour. Easily an hour or somewhere in that vicinity. And then you have time for learning and practicing and other things. But the actual, an hour a day, a couple on the weekend. Plenty of people I work with do it that way. Weekly routine, a couple hours on the weekend, hour or 2 on the weekend, right? Where we're making sure our record keeping is up to date, and we're analyzing our logs, and we're updating our watch lists, and we're searching, and we're posturing, and we're building a opportunity list to focus on for the next week. And those are the things that make it so that we can do our daily routines in an hour a day or less. Either way, part of this is to be like, if I have a routine that says I'm doing it around this time and I have these 8 things that I do and I have a few of those defined, every day I could be like, how well did I execute that? And I could look and say, yeah, I did it at that time. I did all 8 things. I did it for every routine. I'd be like 10 out of 10. If I miss the routine, I'd be like, oof, I'm already at a 7. I lose 3 points for that. Or if I only did half the steps, or what, it's very easy as an accountability measure to make sure I'm developing that consistency. So, you're sort of turning the camera on, so to speak. And by that I mean, think about, I took a golf class one time where they film your swing and then they analyze it with you. And I was like, I'll never do that again, because in my mind I knew it was bad. Or not bad, but I played sports, but golf was never my thing. And then in my mind, I'm like, I know it doesn't look like, Tiger Woods or something, but maybe like, pretty decent. And then I watched it and I'm like, oh, that's what people see when I'm out there swinging. Oh my God. Right. So like what we think we do and what we actually do. But then if you're going to do it, you need to see it so you can learn it and be like, I need it to look like this. And I didn't realize it didn't look like that. And so when we have those cameras on, those accountability measures that sort of force us to be like, all right, this is what I should be doing. Did I do it? And we evaluate it and we say, right? If I'm supposed to spend 20 minutes on my trading plan every week, did I do it? And when I recognize, no, I didn't do it 3 weeks in a row, well, then of course my trading plan is not getting any better because I'm not putting the time into that. So these accountability measures are, sometimes painful, but they're helpful. Like dancing, right? You're like, what? No, that's not. If only. That's so funny. I bought some XAIX. Some guy plugging AI stocks, found an ETF. Is it gambling? Got stopping. Well, then no. Look, it's, here's the deal. You the way you're already looking at it, Bill, you've got to stop. Risk is managed. The trend is good. Uptrend. Easy to be bullish on uptrends. You can see that there was a reason to buy, setting up through here. It's moved. I think it still looks bullish, but it also has hit this 39.5 level here, scattered. Here, scattered. On its way to 39.44. We're at 30. We're 40 cents away. It's moving today, and look at your volume. Buyers, not a lot of buyers. It's going to be very hard for buyers to break levels that they haven't broken yet. So yeah, stops in a good place, and you might think to yourself, do I actually take half profits? Lock in the gain, the full gain with half, tighten the stop on the rest. That's a plan to consider as you get into the weekend and as you see this divergence. Price is moving higher as the number of buyers, the volume is moving lower. Is it easy for the stock to keep going to a level that it's failed to move through 2 times previously without buyers? Yes, it's going to have a hard time. Could it do it? Sure. Absolutely. Right? Love it. That's a great looking one. Doesn't look like a gamble at all to me. Looks like a nice uptrending stock bought near support, but have a plan. Have a plan. Love live examples. Thank you for that. Routines should be good. Because part of the routines is going to be forcing yourself, your accountability, to log your trades. My pleasure, of course, to log your trades and be able to analyze your trades, because we don't want to make emotional decisions. We make data-driven decisions. Is it supported? Just like we would do in a business, data-driven decisions. That we have the numbers and we say, if I put my stop here, if I put my target here, I have this reward, this risk. I can assess it with some probability, and I can say, yeah, this makes sense. I'll stay in. But that's where we're at. Early next week, definitely still have the alert. No, we don't want to say the alert because that we give alerts. The warning bells are sort of giving like an early indication that there could be a hedge signal. We're not predicting it. We're waiting to see. And that closes us out for the week. We will meet on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern to solve the mystery together. My prediction is a 1/4 point drop as of now. We'll see. Somewhat stable, sitting in the 4s, but still on the downward trajectory, if anything. It's good to see everybody. Yeah, have a great rest of your day. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you Sunday morning. As always, happy trading.